Don't you love the night in this game? It's like so uggles and dark and gross. What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Heather. We are baggy invisible. You already know which game you're watching. Like seriously, we've got so many episodes into this series. And I thank you very, very much for continuously watching and continuing to support me. Even though I know most of you come around for the tutorials and stuff like that, I do really appreciate you folks that actually have continued to watch this series all the way up. And then also for those of you that just tune in and maybe you actually go back and watch all of my previous episodes. Hi, Mark. What happened to your sword? Oh, he's so much more powerful than me. He's been building this thing here in the hub. I don't know. He says he's gonna turn it into a big old skull. So it's gonna be pretty neat. Also, I kind of messed around with this costume with the Lunar Lancer. Mark was suggesting to use this helmet, which is actually a Candy Barb costume. And then I just threw the little monkey down and whatever. I mean, it's not like my Lunar Lancer. He's not really that good. Do I even have any good stuff on there? Oh my. My gems are so bad. I'm slowly trying to work on just leveling my gems on all my side characters in general. Because of the fact that we're going to be able to re-roll, you know, re-roll all the gem stats and stuff. What? Oh, he's gonna make, actually, he says he's gonna make Dragon Roost Isle or whatever from, Wind Waker. That's pretty cool. So anyways, let's go through here. Why am I even on this mount? No, really, why am I on this mount? So if you haven't played these mini games, they're here. We've got crazy mini games, dude. It's been such a long time since we ever ended up actually doing a mini game. Look, we even got the Mario Kart course from Princess Peach's Castle or whatever. Mark made a Pikmin map over there. There's a bunch of our maps he made over there that have gotten into the game. I wanted to show you my progress here. It hasn't really, you know, I made a dent in it for sure. Since the last time we took a look at things, but for the most part, this map not only has just been difficult for me, but most of all, it's been difficult for me to find time to do it. Because, you know, as I mentioned in my Xbox episode, I've been really, really busy, you know, lots of stuff going on with me personally. So anyways, as far as this map is concerned, over here, this is kind of going to end up being a lighthouse. And then with a rope is what I ended up putting because I had this idea. Because I like verticality in my maps, and most of all, more so than that, even though the devs don't really like it, but I like having different areas that are balanced for different characters. So like my giant kitchen map, I made certain areas that only the Lunar Lancer could get to, specifically so that people would actually be playing on the Lunar Lancer, and you know, while it's going to definitely be easier for the Lunar Lancer to navigate because of his hook shot, for the most part, I actually want to try and have this as an area where you can get up to, and then you'd walk along kind of like a tightrope. That would end up going maybe up to here, so that anybody else could end up getting onto the rope from over here, and then maybe it'll continue over that way, go over this way, and in general, I kind of want to have, you know, that level of verticality where there's going to end up being kind of these ropes and kind of like wires going through the map so that there's always going to be like this battle overhead, you know, and even on like the capture the flag and stuff like that, I'm gonna try and make them very, very straight. So that there's not going to be much for people to miss. You know, it's like if you want to take the upper path to end up returning the flag, that's good and all, but you're going to end up, you know, being a very, very big, easy target. But I ended up clearing up all the water over here. I think I showed you all this. And then I kind of set this up. This is normally, because this is a map based off of the hub area in Mario Sunshine, right? I'm kind of just turning into my own thing. It's kind of just troverized, right? Normally, this is where the ultra big shine goes. And while I originally had it kind of set up, these were just normal spires. They're not really as tall as I thought they would be, but I guess as far as Trove is concerned, they're tall enough. And I think think they're okay. I kind of put all these little runic symbols on them just to kind of give them a little bit of variation, and also to kind of make it so that you could potentially end up navigating maybe across it. I do want to also try and have like little parkour things. Maybe there will be spots sticking out on the side so that you can actually jump across and get all the way to this side without actually landing in the water. Because, nope, that's going to be 2 jumps. Good. Because that's the other thing too. I'm gonna try and have it so that there's ways to get up onto the roofs very, very easily with all of the characters. That's why, like, even if you go over here, you jump over the fence, and it's gonna be the perfect height for everything. Not exactly sure what I'm gonna do on this side just yet. I want to have something else that's kind of going up and being as tall as the lighthouse, or some other way that this side of the map can get to that verticality. And in general, I kind of want to probably have, you know, just a couple areas, like maybe each of the corners is going to be a spot, like, you know, over there and this building right over here, and just kind of, you know, lay out the plan for all of that, right? So you can see too, I ended up fixing this center fountain thing. I think it looks a lot better. And I just blatantly put boiled denim and then dark gray just split straight across the middle of the map here, because this is going to end up being where, you know, that's the blue side, that's the red side, and I want a nice, very clear visual representation of all of that. Even though, for the most part, you know, it doesn't really, like, this map definitely isn't as busy as some of the other ones that I've created, for sure. But I do want to have, like, this spot right here is going to end up being a very long building with lots of different heights and stuff like that. That blue building over there is going to end up being pretty much the same equivalent. You know, this one's gonna end up having all the alternate heights and stuff like that. And then another building like right here that's kind of gonna do it and make this a little bit of a choke point. And then I just gotta iron out like where all the power-ups end up going and stuff. I forget if I showed you this last time, folks, but I ended up doing this with Merc, where we pretty much ended up falling all the way to the bottom of the map, pulling out our bulldozer, and then just coming all the way back up. I ended up actually putting a whole bunch of jump gear on my boomer here, and he's actually rocking 91 jumps, so that's good enough for pretty much anything for us to actually, you know, destroy the environment and get all crazy, right? So I want to also see, blarg, if I can even handle U9 with this guy. All right, let's see. Can I actually even handle U9 on my Lunar Lancer? I very much doubt it. Am I even rocking the right potions? Ew! Oh, my Lancer sucks. My crit hit is terrible. Oh my goodness gracious, I am not going to be maining this guy in U9, like seriously. This is pretty much all you do with the class, is just mash #1 over and over. Back in the day, did you know that this was actually the strongest character in the game? Now that was a million zillion years ago. He still is okay, but his, you know, the amount of DPS that he does is just kind of like, nah. I mean, you can pretty much pull off U9 with any character so long as you have maxed out gems anyways. And he's pretty fun. He's actually the second fastest farmer, I would say, right next to the Neon Ninja because of his extra movement speed and stuff like that. But he also, does it actually say it? I don't think it actually says it, but he's one of the rare cards. I'm pretty sure it's him and the Candy Barb. Stop me if I'm wrong about that. That actually both have, is it 30% extra damage? I think it's something like that. It's something, oh my goodness gracious, this guy's terrifying. But yeah, it's something like that, where they have like 30% just base damage buff. So they end up being really, really powerful with their damage, right? That's kind of why the Barb ends up being so fun and so powerful, where you can end up just right-click and kill everything. But with the Lunar Lancer, yeah, you're pretty much just doing this attack over and over, which is why you don't need attack speed. At least that's what I would say. I'm not gonna bother doing that 3-star. I got the wrong wings too. I should swap off of them. Let's see whether or not Candy Barb. Oh yeah, I gotta show you all this too. Those wings are very inappropriate. He should have the water wings. Look at this! Isn't this a cool look? Like, it's so weird, but I really, really like it. This might actually be my favorite Barb look I've ever done so far, because he's got the shark head, he's got the Big Daddy body, you know, from BioShock, and then just randomly chainsaws. You know, and it's got the Illuminati eye on it. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. Whoopsie daisy, I'm actually rocking this for all the wrong reasons. There needs to be more water-themed mounts. Like, I'm pretty sure it got accepted a long time ago, but where is the seahorse mount? Like, seriously? The extra life pack should be coming around sometime soon. As far as I know, that's where the devs have actually been as of late, is at the extra life event. Stop me if I'm wrong. It's not like I check their Twitter feed that often. But, yeah, so what the extra life is going to end up being is... Okay, was that just because of our ult, or is my Barb actually decent? But yeah, it's like an event that comes around where they end up having a pack that they're gonna put in the store. See, look at this, wow! If I actually had like good crit hit, I would actually be one-shotting these guys with my right click. That's pretty cool, dude. Get over here! No, get over here, dude! I like how we actually killed him with that Grand Slam. I love that attack. But yeah, when that extra life pack ends up coming in, I already had a video, that was actually already a couple weeks ago, previewing all of the stuff that you could get out of it. Except for the 2 new dragons that are gonna come out of it, which look hilarious, by the way. But most of all, oh man, I cannot wait to get my hands on those allies. There's actually a bat ally, and if you're watching this and you actually main the console, all of these updates are probably going to end up coming out for the console. Like, you're gonna be able to see all of this stuff as well, because as far as I know, when the extra life pack is gonna come around, it's probably gonna be around the same time that the megalithic update comes out, because, I mean, why wouldn't they do that, right? So my favorite ally is a bat that's wearing a scarf. Like, it's, how cool is that, dude? Seriously. Okay, let's just destroy this little freak, and then otherwise, we gotta get to our little comment of the day and a very special surprise for those of you that actually watched all the way through the video. So for today, the biggest amount of comments that I've seen as of late is, am I going to quit Trove? And why do you still play Trove? So there's gonna, you know, I could really get into this, like really get into it. But for the most part, let me just say, I'm not gonna quit Trove. Anybody who says that is just a psychopath or who doesn't find this game interesting. I still do find this game interesting. You know, I joke about like making fun of it every now and then. But for the most part, it still is my favorite online game of all time, and we've created such an awesome, epic community that also ends up happening to take up most of my YouTube channel in general. It's like, why would I ever end up betraying that? No, it's just not going to happen. I love this game. But why do I still play it? Most of all, it's because I have a fun enough time with the base core mechanics. You know, I love the combat. I love how quick and fluent it is, and in fact, I would also argue that Trove has one of the best combat systems of any online game. Sure, it gets laggy, we rubber band and disconnect an awful lot, but really, what other game out there has quick, responsive, like just bang, 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 run in and kill everything? There's not that many games that can keep up with something like this. You know, Elder Scrolls Online, Terra, Black Desert Online, these are some examples of really high action, fast-paced combat systems, but they don't really do what this game does, which is make it simple. You know, the fact that there's only a handful of abilities for each of the characters, and the devs have said that they never want to expand any further than that, you know, it's like they're doing that on purpose. They're selling this, you know, like what we've got here. Now, there is definitely a lot of work that could be done on this game for sure. And in fact, in a lot of ways, the one critique that I actually have about this game is the fact that no matter how many updates the devs keep putting out, they aren't focusing on the combat and, you know, fleshing that out a little bit more, making fighting enemies and dungeons and grinding funner. Because as of right now, it's like, what do you do at the end game other than just grind U9 and maybe you hope that you just get a random drop of like a talisman or a gold chaos chest or something like that. But even then, it's like, you don't. Like the random generation is one of the biggest things that kills this game, on top of, you know, the gems and the randomness of them, which of course is going to be remedied when we can finally end up re-rolling the stats. Speaking of which, I wanted to clear something up right here. before we get to our special surprise. Second stat reroll. Chaos Forge can reroll 2 stats. Like, seriously, if there is a dev watching this, seriously, like, whoever you've got writing these needs to do a better job. That doesn't make any sense to anybody. So for anybody that doesn't know what this stands for, the second stats, like the second stat on, like 1 and 2, the first and second stat on any piece of equipment, as you know, you cannot actually randomize those and change those around, right? So when this second stat reroll comes in, you're actually going to be able to roll over the second, the third, and the fourth stat all at once. So what you do, and I'm going to have another video talking about this when that event ends up coming around, is you roll crit damage, attack speed, movement speed onto your second stat, and then you wait for the event to go away, and then you end up rolling it back over to all of the good stats and stuff like that, right? So console players, if you're watching, do that with all your Radiant gear, because then you can end up making a fortune on selling Radiant gear that actually has like perfect stats. But then also, last but not least, and sorry that this video was a little bit longer, folks, but there was a lot of stuff we had to kind of catch up on and talk about. Yes, for today, we are going to be, wait, where is it? Well, I have them in storage somewhere. We're going to be giving away Fort Fart. So let me show you this right here. A couple days ago, if not, was that a week ago or something? I ended up opening a bunch of Troves of Wonder, got a couple good items out of them that I want to actually give away. This is one of them that we're going to be giving away today. You know, I'm gonna really drag out these prizes, by which I mean it's gonna be a while before I give away another one. But yeah, this guy right here is pretty much the best dragon in the game. Not only does he look beautiful, like he still is one of my favorite. Man, it's been a long time since I actually flew this guy. Oh, he's so cool. But then on top of that, he's going to, let me see if I can get into an adventure world. So not only is he going to be the one dragon that actually shoots straight down. Lots of us originally, when this guy was added to the game, wanted him to actually be modded into a, like an airplane or something, you know, like kind of dropping bombs or something. But the cannonballs that he actually ends up shooting are the most powerful cannonballs in the game. If you cannot afford to get thousands and thousands of bombs, this guy is actually the absolute best for destruction of not only the environment, but he's really handy for getting into dungeons. Because, oh, there's no dungeons around. Well, let's just say, for example, let's pretend that this rock right in front of us, say it's the top of a dungeon, right? You just blast your way straight down to the boss, and there you go. And then also, if you're actually going for the blocks destroyed contest, all you do is you go over a Treasure Isles ocean, which is like that one just to our left over there. You fly over that with Fort Fart just back and forth, blasting away, because that terrain is actually the weakest in the game. And then you're gonna shoot up in the charts for the blocks destroyed. So in any case, folks, I just wanted to kind of let everybody know that doesn't know how epic this mount is and how rare he is. He also, just to drag it out even further, is worth 1.7 mil. So that's how much this prize is going to actually be. It's been a while since I was able to actually give away an in-game item rather than giving codes. Codes are just more convenient, because what we're going to be doing for this, all that I ask is you hit that like button. It's going to help me out. It takes 2 seconds, you know, and it's just going to end up helping me out, helps the video show up in searches and stuff like that. And then you just got to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Now, the important thing is that because this isn't a code, you're going to have to leave your username in the comment section down below, and then I'll end up getting back to you. It may take a week before I reply, because I want to let people, you know, I want to let lots of people get into the prize pool for this one, which of course means that the odds aren't going to be that great, but someone's going to take it away, right? And then I'll make a reply to your comment, let you know you've won, and kind of the process to actually exchanging it to you in game. But in any case, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciated. Sayonara, and stay epic.